Hey, Zoe here, and I really wanted to share with you 5 quick tips on being a work from home mom. Because if you're a mom, you will know it is like, if not the hardest job out there. You know, especially if you've got young children, they're constantly needing your attention and your love, and they're always wanting to do things with you. But when you want to do work, it's kind of like, so hopefully these quick tips will kind of help you, give you that balance. Because at the end of the day, if you're doing a job from home, running your own business like me from home, you know, 9 times out of 10, you're doing it for them. You're doing it for a better life for them, a better life for you. You know, your identity, your independence, whatever it may be, a lot of it tends to be for your family. So hopefully these 5 quick tips can help you out. So number one, which is probably the most important one, is get organised. Now, I know this is easier said than done. There's always things that are cropping up, or, you know, your kid's got a dental appointment, or they've got an after-school club or play group or whatever it is, and sometimes it's just things go a bit crazy. But getting organised really helps you stay on track. So what I mean by getting organised, whether it's a planner, a notebook, something on your phone. There's loads of great apps out there, especially for moms, that can help you stay organised. You know, literally put everything down for that day that you need to get done, even if that's housework. If you think, oh God, I really need to put the hoover around today, or I really need to get laundry done today, put that down. You know, put all your appointments down, put everything you need to get done with your business, and it'll really help you keep on track, especially for those days, you know, when your kids are going crazy, or you've got a lot on with work and you're just like, what am I doing? And then tip number 2, which kind of links to the first tip, is set yourself business hours. So this is something I really wish I'd done when I started with my business. Was set myself business hours, because God knows how many times, like, I'll be sitting late at night with my husband and I should be spending time with him really, but I'm on the phone answering messages from customers or ladies on my team, and I really don't need to be doing that. You know, it's stuff that can wait till the next day. It's not stuff that needs to be done there and then. So set yourself business hours, whatever that may be, you know, whatever works best for you, and stick to those. You know, if people are contacting you outside of those, you know, try not to respond a bit, but what you need to do is, like, make it known. So put it on your business card or on your website, your Facebook page, what it is, that I'm going to be available from these times. You know, I'm a busy mom, so, you know, I have to fit in family time and everything. And most people understand, you know, and it's really going to help you have more of a family time. Because what tends to happen when you work from home is your family life and your business life tend to get a bit blurred, tend to kind of mix in with each other. What tends to happen with that, your business kind of suffers a little bit and your family time suffers a little bit. You know, you're not putting 100% into spending that precious time with your children or your partner or your husband, and, you know, you're missing out on things. And the whole reason, you know, that you're probably stopping at home and working from home is so you can spend that extra bit of time with your children, be there for them. I know for me, I wanted to be, you know, the one taking them to school, picking them up, asking them how their day was, cooking their tea. And for a while, my business kind of took over and I wasn't giving them the attention they needed. And that's because I didn't have business hours. Now I have business hours and I stick to that time. Then I have family time. So my kids know, you know, when mummy's busy and they need to kind of occupy themselves for a little bit. And then when mummy's finished work, you know, we can play games, watch movies. It makes things so much easier. And then tip number 3 is also kind of connected to the first kind of tips that I've just mentioned, and that is time blocking. So this will also help you keep your family time separate and your work time separate, because if you can set aside, even if it's just 15 minutes, because, you know, I know we're all busy, we've all got things going on, I try and set aside at least a half an hour or an hour if my little one's having a nap, where I'm just going to do work. I'm just going to answer messages, sort out orders, you know, sort out promotions, whatever I'm doing with my business. I set a block. Again, I put it in my notepad, my planner. For the next hour, I am doing business. I'm either doing my videos, whatever I need. And that way, I'm getting so much more done than if I'm mixing the two. If I'm kind of sorting out my children and trying to answer messages, you know. I get so much more done and I feel so much more organised if I stick to doing that. Again, like I said, try and make it work for you. So, you know, if an hour's too long, do 15 minutes. Do 4 15-minute blocks in a day. You know, split that time up, you know, and think, oh God, yeah, I'll have a good 15 minutes there where I can sit, you know, think up of some good ideas that I can help to promote a certain product you're selling or whatever it is in your business that you need to do. Time block. And also I recommend time blocking family time as well. Sometimes, you know, in the middle of the day, it's dinner time, you need to block an hour out for doing lunch for your children if they're at home, and you want to spend some time with them, you want to watch a movie, whatever it may be, do that too. You know, try and keep it separate. It's probably the biggest thing I can do, tip I can give you, sorry. And it really helps, you know, keeping my husband happy, keeping my kids happy, because I'm giving them 100% of my attention when I'm with them, and then the same for my business, and I get so much more achieved and better results as well, you know, and I'm doing my videos or whatever it may be. So yeah, tip number 3 is time block. I've just got a few notes down here. So tip number 4, drive time. So tip number 4 is, you know, those times when you're in the car, whether you're going to the school run or taking your children to after school club, driving to work, whatever it may be, or if you're on the bus, you know, you don't drive, make the most of that time. And it can be literally as simple as having an audio book on. You know, you're taking in some training, you're learning some mindset, you're reading, well, not reading, you're listening to something motivational to get you on track for that day. You know, those days and you feel like, oh, I don't really want to do this. I'll put some audio book on that's really motivational, that really kind of puts a fire in my belly, and it makes the day go so much easier. So the most of those drive times. Sometimes I'll have videos on my phone as well. Obviously I'm not watching them, you know, be safe, but I'll have it on in the car so I can hear what's going on. Also, you know, if you have wireless, you could be doing team calls, you know, training for your people on your team. Just make the most of that time. You know, we all know being a mom, time is precious, so things like that could also free up time as well when you're at home with the family, and you could do family things and have more days off and all that kind of stuff. And then my last tip is prioritize. There's so many things that we do that really we don't need to do, you know. Again, back to the first tip, organize, put what you need to get done in your day. But prioritise what you need to get done. So really those things that, like, you know, the washing up or the laundry or, you know, mowing the lawn or whatever it may be, do they really need to get done today? Do I really need to do that today? What is going to help me today? What do I really need to get done today? I know sometimes it's not always what we want to get done. We want to get everything done ideally, you know. I want to grow like an extra 10 pairs of arms and get all my housework done, all my business work done, spend time with the kids all at the same time, but that's not going to happen. So prioritise. And also sometimes that means giving up things that we love but we just don't really have the time to do, and they're not important. So it might be things like, you know, going to the gym, or I'm not saying don't have time for yourself, because I think that's really important too, but sometimes it might be like a dance class, or it might be a charity event that really we don't need to be doing. And I know it sounds a bit harsh, but we really need to kind of prioritise in, you know, what you need to get done for your business that day, what is going to help bring in the money, you know, what is going to help pay that electric bill, or, you know, that trip to Disneyland, or your new car, or whatever it is. What do you need to get done for that, and what do you need to get done, you know, to keep your family happy? So yeah, top tip number 5 is prioritise what you really need to get done, because I know as mums we want to get everything done, but you have to think, do we really need to get that done? Do we really need to be cooking a home-cooked meal, slaving over a meal? I know, you know, we want to give our kids the best. I know I do, but sometimes it's just like, oh, you know, there's so many alternatives out there now that we can be doing that makes it easier for ourselves. You know, don't be guilty of doing that. Really, really don't. So I hope those 5 tips can help you out. And if you've got any tips for me, you know, I'm always willing to learn. You know, like I said, being a mom is hard. So trying to run a business as well, you know, everything can be a bit chaotic at times. So if you've got any tips, something that really works for you, put it in the comments. You know, I'd love to hear your tips too. And thanks for watching. Bye.